Okay. So yeah, so what I've got going on with this Arwen is I know people love the Carver with the Smite, but I don't like the fact that it's a 35% chance. I want something that's guaranteed, and for me, I believe men allied strength. I think that's a guaranteed damage increase, as long fair enough that as long as the men attack, but I mean I think it pairs really well because she's got nobility. So once I get that to 9%, you're going to see a 21%, which means their attacks are going to be increased by 30% through the 10 rounds, through the entire length of the battle. So I think that is a preferred buff to me, um, against a 35% chance to proc some focus damage. Um, Now, as far as her equipment goes, or I should say her armor piece, we've got a focus heavy gold tier with a defense men increase, which once again we're looking to increase and buffer men. She's the wife of King Aragorn. She's queen, so I'd love to get more. I'd love to get more plates of the Citadel because honestly, I think this is the best. If we kind of go in there and look real quick, so we've got defensive men, which that might be a little more preferred per se. Um, these are all really good to be fair, but I actually think I like the 30% increase. The 24 men's pretty solid, but the nice thing is this gives me the ability to mix and match units and still receive a solid defense increase. Um, Resilience and men would be cool, but I actually want to try this barrier. Like I said, it gives me more flexibility if I have to substitute non-men units in there. Um, and then from there we have a Trapper's Hood, which this is strictly for the Hysteria because it's not that high focus of a helmet. If I wanted higher focus, I would go. Well, I know what I'm going to go. I'm going to go this. I'm going to go Swan Helm because it's going to give me high men defense, high focus, 22 more than that, and it's going to give me damage reduction on men allied units. So the Trapper's Hood is just to kind of get her through the season as doing her part. Like this is like instead of a 35% chance to proc Smite, I like the fact that I have a almost 100% chance to cause madness, which is a lot more viable or a lot more vital to me than a chance for some focus. And then obviously worn out smoking pipe, sustain for we're going to get it up when we're level to 45, and we're going to get to 39%, and or 38%, and then yeah, that's just a solid piece. Eventually down the road, something I might not mind is if I could get is if this has, let's see here. It doesn't. If this had Iron Guard, if this one, if the Night Star had Iron Guard, I mean, it doesn't really have to buff, but it would have been nice. I don't think this one, there's no way this one has it. This one might be the better option. But I don't know, because 5 times a match, all allies are good. That's pretty freaking solid. I think I'm just going to have to stick with that. Because it's going to be modified by our focus. My goal is to try and get Arwen's focus up to 400, which I think I can do. Because I'll almost be halfway there to by 350 if I swap this helmet on. And then from there, we're going to get another 8 points from this. And then we're going to, as we increase this, we'll see 5 more. And then likely, 32 for a total of 10. So we should be able to get her to 400 next season if we're lucky. And we get enough golds to get this to 5. And the helmet to 5 as well. But anyways, would love to try and get her frickin' hit. We've got some. So we've pulled almost every T3. No, excuse me. We've unlocked. We haven't pulled. We've unlocked almost every T3. hold on here. Is he... What the heck is he at? We're trying to get as many level 50s as possible. It's like a pastime for me. I love that shit. I know that's like... I was running him with a cavalry build like the entire time, but we're not going for a cavalry build. We're just going to farm XP to get him up. There we go. Looking for some 35s. Okay, so we know that's there. We know he's there. Somebody wanted... I'm not going to say I have one of the best Gandalfs in the game, in the server. There's no way I do. I think he's... In terms of the people and the money being spent on this particular server, I think I'm probably in the... Let's say there's 100... Oh, I don't know. Let's say there's 30 players with really good Gandalfs. I would say mine's in the top 15, maybe. But that's as high as I rate him, personally. He is R10. He is fully imparted wisdom. He's got a carver with men bonus damage, which, once again, I'm not a huge fan of the, hey, let's activate 35% chance on might. This is guaranteed damage. He's got quilted armor with attunement. We need to go up one more level, so that'll eventually get us to 12 here, 18 here, for a total of 30. We've got a bone mask with 18, full hysteria guarantee, and then a fully leveled and refined focus pipe with sustain. As far as his point alignment, I'm not a big fan. I'm kind of learning more. I'm kind of learning more about some of his skills that I never really understood. I didn't think Mithrandir affected enemies. I thought it affected White Council, where it was allied units damage received, but I'm realizing that no, this affects enemies. So as I learn and read more and I pay more attention, I always go wizard for stun, but I do usually put 2 points in there for a surge, which the surge is so low, but it's one of those things where just another way to proc potentially healing. So we've got wizard here, we've got the focus or surge every 2 rounds, or every 2 rounds, and then a blind side for the same. If I get more, my goal is to get him potentially up to R15. That's a tall task, because the highest tier 2 I have is Gimli at R11. But Gandalf's definitely gonna be one of my focus. I don't like using him for PvP if I can avoid it. If they're like, hey, we need to hold this, I'll do it. I'll put him in there, obviously, to get the team's mission done. But I don't like using him for PvP because he's such a cookie cutter, everyone's list commander, and I don't like that. I'm not trying to be a hipster, but I like being unique. I don't like having... I've got him set up as strong as I can, but that's because I want to use him for tile taking to max effect, and I look forward to that. So, yeah, I look really forward to using him for PvE, PvP when I have to, but I've got other commanders that I'm looking forward to using for PvP. I want to get Arwen. I never really used Arwen, and when I did use her, I didn't have her R5 for the longest time. I think she was at R1, R2 for like most of the season, got her at R3, and then she started to pick up, and now she's R8. And on top of that, I had to manually unlock her. I never pulled her, so I finally pulled her, and it pushed me up a couple points. So I'm looking forward to using her to better effect this season. King Aragorn was a big one. I had to manually unlock King Aragorn. I didn't pull him. And if I had to grind him up to R5 yet again. So, or wait, did I unlock him? Hold on. Did I pull him? Okay, I did pull him. But the thing is, I already had him like 8,800 out of 9,000, and then I pulled him. And it took me up to like R3. So it was like, okay, rock and roll, dude. That's been my luck with pulls, to where Galadriel already had unlocked, so she's like R5 from that. Elrond I had to manually unlock. Radagast, who's manually unlocked. Dane, manually unlocked. Gandalf, manually unlocked. So I'm looking forward to pulling these guys because they're all R5, so that should go to 6 or 7. He should go to the same. He should go to, he's 0. He should go to 3 or 4. He's 1, so he should go to 2 or 3, hopefully. And then, yeah, all these are pulled. This is taking me, granted, this has taken me 2 seasons worth, which I started playing in October. So I've spent, you know, what, 6, 7 months now playing this game, 6 months. So you'd think half of a year, realistically, especially with the money I've chosen to invest, that it would be in there. Honestly, I'd like to see this be allied men and elf units. Because, yes, I get Vilya's ring bearer, one of the elven rings, but tie it back into make him more viable, because not many people like him. Make it more viable. Tie it back into his half-elven heritage to where you increase men and elves, and that way then you can use boon to make him a buff machine, because there's not a lot of commanders where their unit buffs are actually worth a piss. So we're just going to do some tile pickups here. We've got them marked out. We want to buff our wood production. It's like end of the season. Why the hell would you care? But it's because it's something to do. First of all, since the end of the season gets very friggin' boring, which I think, and I don't know how much it's going to change just because of how aggressive. And I think if they've reduced the faction population as a good start, I think them reducing the tiles to just having 1 is a very good idea. And then I think they've made each of the chapters take a little longer by upping the requirements. That's perfect. I would just ask that to allow us to still get those rewards to then increase the time limit. So hopefully that's been done. That's not bad. I mean, the nice thing is one thing I love about Legolas, and I'm bouncing all over the place, but that's the way it is. One thing I love about Legolas is he is one of the cleanest cut commanders in the game. Here's what you do to play Legolas. You go in... Oh, wrong character. Here's what you do to play Legolas. You go in here, you go in there, you equip well, and you win. He can output almost 300,000 damage with these 2 trees, and there's no tweaking, there's no stupid this skill's behind this skill and that skill's behind this tree. It's just boom, boom, he's good to go. He's one of the best commanders because of that. Very similar to frickin' Gimli. Gimli's a beast as well, because Gimli's very clear cut. He offers you solid R3, he offers you solid R5. And the nice thing is, if you don't have to focus on anything or counter anything, or you don't want to get him up to R5 for whatever reason, or you're free to play, this is awesome, this is awesome. If you're going to come across cavalry commanders with every round heal, Amr, Aowen, Theoden, if you're coming across Arwens, if you're going to come across Radagast, Gandalf, anything with heals, go on as R5, because you're going to get Open Wound, which cancels heals. Granted, there's the 3-round cooldown, so he will get some heals, but Open Wound to negate healing, and Break Defenses to reduce, which means then after you've reduced defense, you're going to have more of your skills bleed through, and your troops are going to do it. If you couple his Break Defenses, minusing this, with a flayed battle axe, and you're able to do it in the first 4 rounds, which we've got to get this up 1 more. We've got 2 of the 3. We just need 1 more, and we'll be good to go. You're going to see some massive damage. He's done 300,000 for me before as well. I haven't used him in a while, and I took off the gear I had for him, and I put it on King Aragorn, so I'm rebuilding his gear up. Which I'll swap helmets once I get this up, because men allied units will work for King Aragorn more. But, yeah, he's a tank. Undeniably, he's awesome. That's like the most annoying thing in the world. I just find that to be. Should I take this? I don't think so. I've got so many here that are not freaking group. Like I've got a couple, but most of these are. What I need is grain and forest. Grain and I need food and lumber. Grain and lumber. Oh, this freaking. I said anybody can attack. It's just annoying because, like, Witch Kings are so. Yeah, it's going to be alerts. Oh, it's a Witch King. So stupid. That's fucking atrocious. I fucking hate that. Pardon my French. I despise this commander. I think he's so stupidly strong. Like, really? It's just cringe. He doesn't even have that great of gear focus that I've seen on Witch Kings. It's so. So this is what I understand. In a scenario like this, he's a T3 commander and I'm a T2. I accept a defeat there. I do. I don't like the defeat being as ridiculous as it is, considering the gear matchup, and considering the fact that apparently, I don't know, Madness didn't proc at all. Maybe Madness procced more than I thought to actually even get me this many kills. But then you have a commander like Theoden, who can wreck most T3s. Yeah, I'm just disappointed that I would have taken a 20% remaining draw. It's just sad. I mean, you put this gear on a R8 with two T3s and a T4, and this Witch King outputs. And what's annoying is I have yet to see any other commander, especially on the good side, allow the soldier damage to reach that high. I have faced Theodens where the most that they will buff their units is to do like 250 to 75,000 damage. Like, that's excessive, but I understand it because the job of that commander is to be a leader and to have, he's not support in his title, but he's support in what he does. I get that, but that's like a Theoden then plus another 100,000. That's just absurd to me. But whether they tweak him or not, I don't really know.
Gotcha, bitch.
That's so frustrating. This is why people have to run Gandalfs. This is why people choose. This is why I choose. This is the only reason I choose to run a Gandalf, is because his T3 counterpart, Gandalf the White, has nothing, to my opinion, nothing nearly close to being able to do what Gandalf the Grey can with Mithrandir, White Council, this and this. It's so stupid. It's so frustrating. People, they complain about Gandalfs that can counter every single thing in the world. It's just like, okay, well, there are two things on the evil side that you guys exclusively use that are absurd. It's Lurtz with Muma, who can tear through, 4 to 5 armies if they're not prepared to counter or if they're not equipped or whatever the right way, which I just pretty much repeated the same sentence. But Lurtz with Mumas and Witch King with Alchemists. And they're insane and they're stupid, and after 2 seasons more and more people are going to have him, more and more people are going to equip him, and it's just going to be like, in cases like that where you run into Witch King builds here and Lurtz is down here, I don't care if you get ganged up on. It's your choice to run a commander that is that OP. But that's enough ranting. He did good for him. He kicked my ass. Just, I knew it was going to happen. I did not want to face a Witch King for that reason, because, in fact, does he stun commanders? I think he does. So no, so he doesn't have that because it's not max. So I'm actually curious. Um, we're going to go down because I want to know when this round ends. Oh, that's so... It went to round 9. It went to round 9, and I barely killed 800 troops. Oh, man, that's rough. His Gandalf the White character is just built so bizarrely to me. Pipewood Connoisseur should not be on there. Honestly, in my opinion, you should have Blindside down here with Wizard to get your three actual fighting abilities. White Council can stay the way it is, and then Gandalf the White should have Magical Barrier up here, and Reinforcement should be pinged down here. Pipewood Connoisseur is ridiculous to have on a T3. And then for White Rider, I'm not a huge fan of this, but if that's the way you want to go, put White Rider here, leave Horsemanship here, and then I would do an additional defense ability called Free Peoples, where it's similar to his R1, like because if you're unwilling to keep coming out with new skills, then give him this and put this up there to make it more viable, because he is okay. I just don't like him that much. I don't mind him. I've never really used him for PvP, but his PvE was even to me slightly underwhelming. But we're gonna try him more in season 3, which just isn't bad. But we're gonna give this to a Faramir. We've got attack ranged, we've got attack ranged, and we've got attack ranged. So this will be beneficial for me to put him with Guard of the Towers or something, and then sharpshooters and sharpshooter. See, that's why I want to go to Arnor, because I could get another men R4, or another men range unit, which would be their T4. But I think I'm going to have to suffer with that and just use Sentinels. Sentinels and then T4 Swan Knights to absorb the damage. We're going to push Galadriel up here. Is there anything? There really isn't. So we'll just wait here, and I think we'll path down this way, and then that will lead us to the chain of... Because we might as well at that point. I might be trying that out. If I've got the extra... So my goal here is to get this maxed, which I don't even know if I really... I think this is kind of silly, actually. I've kind of started to feel that way, that this speed bonus with nothing else, just speed, is very silly to me. This I actually like. I need to get more of them, which I haven't in a while. It's been kind of annoying. But, you know, Hithlane with Mend and Worn Out Pipe are the two best for my opinion. But I actually might, if I get a lot of them, I might try to build up one Wizard Firework with Bane of the Mounted units. And I might do Bane of Orcs too. I don't know. I've thought about it. Not sold per se, but we'll see what happens. Well, it seems like our BlueStacks is not working very well, so I will be back later.